Hello there everybody, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. Now today, we're going to be doing an official farming guide. I get this question asked to me all of the time. I do roster reviews every single live stream for free, and every single time I do one of them, I always have the exact same roster submitted and asking me, what should I do next on my account? So let's take it. First of all, we're gonna be taking a look at this person's roster. This is viewer Joe Bizzle. So thank you so much for lending me your roster for this video specifically. Really do appreciate that, my friend. If you haven't already, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to stay up to date with more content just like this. Also check out our membership program. Lots of cool stuff in there. But without wasting any more time, let's get started right on to this Lightspeed farming guide in 2024. So a few things before we need to start. Lightspeed bundles will change and not everyone will have the same Lightspeed bundles. Now, what you have currently farmed on your roster and what you already, what you need to work on. So if you need modding advice, this isn't necessarily going to cater to modding advice. This is more going to be about a farming guide specifically. And again, everyone's going to be in a different stage of this. So this doesn't necessarily apply to every single person that watches this video, but this is a rough guide on the best way to farm your Lightspeed farming guides that I like to recommend. This is what I always recommend in live streams, so I just thought, you know what, let's make a video about it. So again, we have Joe Bizzle's live roster here. It's 4 million GP pretty much exactly. He's got Rey, Starkiller, he's got a lot of other Lightspeed bundle stuff. I think he's got every Lightspeed bundle. Does he have every Lightspeed bundle? I think he has every Lightspeed bundle. He's working on Savage, he's got a Gear 12 Padme, working on his Geos, working on the Zori Bliss, some Imperial Troopers, CLS stuff. So he's all over the place here at the bottom of his roster, but he's got a lot of Relic Lightspeed bundle stuff. And he also does not have a great ship game here. His ships are okay at best. He's got Chimera, which is good. He's got Finalizers, he's got Radis, he's got TIE Defender unlocked. But this is not all great. These ships are not great. So we're going to take a look at Joe Bizzle here. We're going to give him a little bit of help today. And again, you guys can follow along here with what we're doing. This applies to a lot of people. So first of all, let's take a look. This is my little graphic that I made. This is the ideal farming order that I like to recommend to people when they go for roster reviews. And they are basically a Lightspeed account. A Lightspeed account, how I identify it anyways, is a Lightspeed account where almost everything is a Lightspeed, all the relics at least, almost all the relics are Lightspeed unlocks, and they have a lot of other random farms aren't super great, but then he's got all these relic stuff that he bought. So that is what I will call a Lightspeed roster if you have a bunch of Lightspeed bundle relic levels. So the first thing that we're going to want to take a look at here is a GL. Our first GL that we have here on Joe Bizzle's roster is Rey. Now, you can switch 1 and 3. These two GLs doesn't really matter. Which one you want more, whichever one's closest for you, that is kind of up to you. I went for Rey first because she was so much closer for me, but I did start the SLKR journey today, which is pretty exciting. So it depends on what GL is closest to you. Joe Bizzle here has Rey, so we put Rey first. Rey is the easier GL to get between SLKR and Rey. If you don't already have some of the SLKR stuff done, Rey is a shorter farm for you. Kind of. I mean, they're very similar with the Finalizer bundle. It's kind of hard to say. If you don't have Palpatine unlocked, then that's something different. But also, if you have the Lightspeed bundles, you should be able to easily unlock Palpatine with a thing we'll talk about in a second here. So it's really kind of up in the air what you bought here, what you want more. It's not necessarily all going to be the same thing here again, but we'll just say Rey is first. So what I like to recommend doing, and I know some people might disagree with this, what I like to recommend doing with all of my farms is I like to specifically intentionally put in break farms that aren't necessarily a part of anything else they're farming into people's farming guides. That way they are diversifying their roster, they are getting things that they want to get, and it helps them stay entertained and interested in the game. Imagine if I was to just farm, okay, so I farm Ewoks, then I farm E3PO to get to the CLS team, to farm Jedi Knight Luke, to farm Jedi Master Luke, to farm Jabba, to farm Leia. That would be such a grueling account, and I probably would not have fun. You'd get a lot of things out of it, sure, but there's not that much there. You're only having all these light side stuff that's leading towards Leia. Not a super entertaining farm in my opinion. When you have breaks, and per se your break farm be something like Starkiller, that kind of changes things. So Starkiller, again, Joe Bizzle here already has Starkiller. You can flip 2 and 4 around on the list. You can flip those 2 around. Those are kind of up for grabs. But Starkiller is a GL killer. You want to make sure you farm his team with him, which is usually Visas Mar, which this person is not yet working on, but you can put in a Stick Ray maybe. But you want SLKR, Mara Jade, Palpatine as the leader. You want Visas Mar usually, and Old Ben is probably your tank for now. I've seen Kanan, I've seen Plo Koon in there, so it kind of just depends on what you're really got going on the account. But Old Ben is kind of the he's kind of become the standard now when it comes to the Starkiller team. So this is kind of a good spot to work on a Starkiller team at. So next up, number 3 is a GL. We're going to kind of run through these next 2 spots. You already know what this part is. This is SLKR. Again, pretty standard. You're going to want to get that finalizer up and running. You want to get Palpatine relics for the requirements and all that kind of stuff, but it should be pretty easy considering what else you've already bought on the Lightspeed bundles. So we have that. Our break, you probably can see it because I didn't cover it very well. Captain Rex and the Phoenix. The Phoenix is an endgame team now, and they kind of just gave it to us on a silver platter. And, I mean, Crex is also needed for Leia, so you're going to have to farm him anyways. Might as well farm him while he's meta and really, really good with a Relic Phoenix team. My Rex is Gear 11 with the Zetas and Omicron, and he gets holds for me in GAC with clones. I can take out a lot of things with the Phoenix here with him. I did pretty good in the assault battle the other day. If you're watching this from a few days after this gets uploaded, or yeah, basically Crex is great. Crex is great. I love Captain Rex as a character as well. Just he does so much for the team. You're gonna want to work on your mods here, my friend. I was hoping to check out your mod game, but yeah, getting your Captain Rex modded with a Zeta. I mean, you already have a Zeta. Put the mods on him. This is a usable character right now. Right now, this is a usable character. If you want to, if you're worried about him surviving, you can put Hera's Rebel Survivor thing. What's it called? Backup plan. You can put backup plan on Captain Rex, and he'll revive if he dies. So he does a lot of work. You just got to make sure he's surviving and make sure that he has the necessary tools that he needs to survive, and he will kill things for you, my friends. Okay, Crex is great. So next up, we have a PP. And look, we all need PPs, right? We all want passion projects. Passion projects are things that you're looking forward to the account, that you're building your account towards. It's kind of like this idea that I have about end goals of the account. My end goal of the account would be, right now for me personally, is like Gas and Jedi Master Luke. Those are, in Darth Bane, those are like 3 end goals I have of the account. Not necessarily a GL, not necessarily something that's in my farming path, although sometimes it may be, but something I really, really want. So this can be a end goal for the account. This can be just a passion project. If this is you want to go for Gungans, this is your time to go for Gungans. I put Darth Malak here because I see a shocking amount of people who have really, really wacky Sith Empires. If you are familiar with the channel, you will know I hate HK47 in this game. He is a waste to have a relic. He's a waste to put on a Darth Revan team right now, and it just doesn't make any sense. Sith Empire Trooper is so much better. Sith Empire Trooper is a much, much better option than HK47. And if you have Malgus, again, much, much better option. Sith Marauder, better option, because he's needed for requirements, and he's kind of beefy too. It's not a bad farm at all. So yeah, I see a lot of Relic HKs because of his popularity and lore, because he's a really popular character from the KOTOR series. I see a lot of people that just didn't relic their Malak or didn't 7-star their Malak, and I see a lot of people that left all of their Sith Empire at Relic 1 or Relic 3, which is better than some of it, but like, it's not ideal. I see a lot of messed up Sith Empire. So with this number 5 slot in the Lightspeed farming guide, you could sub in finishing farms. You can sub in hoarding for other farms. You can do so many things in this number 5 spot. I put a passion project as a bigger break from doing your Lightspeed bundle farmings, and I see Sith Empire messed up so often. And again, I want to make sure Number 5 can be anything. This is ships as well. We need to look at Joe Bizzle's ships here. Joe Bizzle's ships here are not good. You should be farming ahead for ships. I know I have number 8 as ships, but you should be farming ahead, looking ahead to ships, doing it as maybe a side farm here or there, but making sure that you're prioritizing you're enjoying the experience of the game. That's what I'm trying to say. Prioritize your enjoyment of the game so that you can keep farming stuff in the future. Because if you don't want to farm stuff in the future, you're not really going to get too much out of this farming guide. Am I correct? Yes, I am. Okay. So after our passion project, we have Jedi Knight Luke into Jedi Master Luke. The reason I say Jedi Master Luke is because the Lightspeed bundles set you up real nice with some of these crappy requirements that people don't want to farm. Luke Skywalker, Fanboy, Princess Leia, Wedge, Lando, Admiral Akbar. Actually, I'm not quite sure if Admiral Akbar is a requirement, but those kind of requirements that they gave you in that Phoenix bundle pack, the Shadows of the Empire bundle, I believe is what it was called. In that bundle, they gave you all of the extra, most of the extra crappy requirements that you're not going to want to farm for Jedi Master Luke. And Jedi Master Luke is great in Proving Grounds, great in Conquest, doesn't need the ult to be amazing as well, by the way. So Jedi Master Luke's a great GL. You also, getting Jedi Knight Luke out of this farm, you set yourself up for Jabba down the road. You're setting yourself up for Leia down the road. You're setting yourself up for Profundity down the road. And then those farms will overlap with things like SLKR, Executor, and Sith Eternal eventually, and it all becomes a giant web the farther and more that you farm down that list. So getting started here with Jedi Master Luke is a great call. They eventually all will converge into an amazing roster, and I think if you're a Lightspeed farmer, your third GL absolutely should be Jedi Master Luke, unless you were farming Sith Eternal before this and you are significantly closer to Sith Eternal. Because if you have Executor at this point, or if you have SLKR at this point, depending on what else you farmed with your SLKR, depending on what else you bought, if you have Mara Jade and you have Palpatine and you have Darth Vader on the team and you're starting to work on Imperial Troopers teams, Sith Eternal is a contender for this spot. But again, we're talking about Lightspeed specific farms. If you do not have any of that progress made, Jedi Master Luke is the best farm. And Jedi Master Luke is better than Sith Eternal as a GL. We'll see what happens with Bane, but I assume if you're, a bare bones account and you just have Lightspeed bundles, you're not necessarily going to be grinding for Bane like I am. So that's probably not something you need to worry about. We have Jedi Master Luke here, and after that, we did a lot of pretty much mandatory farming. We had a little bit of a break with number 5, but we're going to go back to a little bit of a break with number 7. You're going to be going for two Journey events back to back, and one of them being a Galactic Legend, and you're going to be spending a lot of Chirotech. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy a little bit of solo farming. Solo farming includes SWGoH Press with the Omicron here. That includes not necessarily Qui-Gon, but these are some other good Omicrons to put on. But Wampa here. Wampa is another great solo opportunities. Another really good one at this point that you will already have at Relic 7 is, where is he? Baby Kylo, wherever he is. Okay, this person actually didn't have the one I needed. Oh no, he did. I'm just dumb. Baby Kylo here. I'm starting to use him as a solo in GAC. This is really, really nice. I really would recommend, if you haven't already, maybe trying out Baby Kylo solo in GAC. If you're going to get him to Relic 7 for the SLKR journey, might as well make him usable. If you don't have a really good Baby Kylo and you're struggling to use him, maybe throwing in Watt with him could work. I've done that before and it has done wonders for my Baby Kylo, so maybe throwing in Watt with your Kylo Ren could also work. But if you want banner efficiency, Baby Kylo solo can maybe do something for you. So working on some of those solo farms is just going to be really great for your account. It'll save you a lot of teams in GAC, save you a lot of time. You'll just get a lot more banner efficiency with solos in GAC most of the time. So investing in your GAC solos is really, really going to help. Now, at this point, if you have not already invested in ships, which looks like Joe Bizzle has not, Joe Bizzle is really, really going to want to get Executor here. I think you don't have to necessarily get Executor, but I think Executor is by far the best pick here. But if the Executor is way too far out from what you're doing, if you have nothing done besides Palpatine for your SLKR, and you don't have any Imperial Troopers, you don't have Darth Vader, you don't have any Bounty Hunters done, I mean, maybe Executor isn't necessarily the right choice. You could go for Profundity instead, because that'll follow your Jedi Master Luke farm, but Executor most of the time for most people will probably be the best GL ship for you to go for first. Now, Joe Bizzle here, what he should do is, if I was to review his roster again, I would say that the Finalizer, you need to finish that up, get that fleet done, my friend, get that TIE Echelon upgraded, get that First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter. Yeah, getting these First Order ships up and running, especially with that Dorito and that TIE Echelon. Making sure that's probably done at some point. Maybe just do that as a passive farm throughout this entire process. And then once you get to this number 8 spot, I would work on a Chimera fleet, getting that good enough, making sure that's good enough. And then after you have a good enough Chimera fleet, then you move on to your Executor farm, and Executor will give you bounty hunters. It'll give you a start on Sith of Turtle farms, and it'll give you some Imperial Troopers stuff to work off of. It's really, really nice. So I think it just is the natural progression of things. I would say if you have Finalizer upgraded to a point where it's good enough, if you already have Radis done, by the way, getting Radis done with the comeuppance, if you have a good enough Radis too, that's 2 fleets, then we start working on Chimera so you can ramp up for the Executor. You'll have 3 fleets, and then Executor is 4 fleets. That is 4 fleets for you to use, even if they're not 100% done. Like if you have a 6 or 7 star character here, or ship here or there, or sorry, if you have a 5 or 6 star ship, that's not a 6 or 7 star. We want 7 star ships, right? If you have a 5 or 6 star ship here or there, it's not going to hurt you too much. Obviously, you're going to want to work on that, but if your pilots are upgraded enough and you have good mods on your pilots and your ships are 6-ish stars, your fleet is good enough, maybe, depending on where you are. You want, obviously, 7 stars. You don't want to leave your fleets behind. But from moving from ship to ship to ship, you want to be able to at least expand your ships as fast as possible if you have no ships. Now, this step is going to look very different for people that already have ships. If you already have Executor, if you already have Chimera, Finalizer, Radis, you already have these 4 ships, this is just a profundity farm, really, for you. Unless you want a if you want a PP, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Passion project. It's not that hard, Asteroid. Oh my god. Okay. A passion project. If you want to do that with a Leviathan farm, or if you really want to try and get your Home 1 fleet to be super amazing, or if you already have those 4 fleets and you need to work on Negotiator or Executor, or not Executor, Malevolence. Oh my god, I'm messing up a lot of my words. Malevolence? That's a great thing for you to do too. This person does not, or is not close to Negotiator, Jesus Christ, Negotiator or Malevolence, but those are also great farms for you to do, especially once you see number 10 down here. Those Prequel Trilogy farms are going to be really important. So number 9 on our list, after ships, after I've done messing up my words, Dash Rendar. So Dash Rendar you get if you buy it, well, you get Dash Rendar in 1 pack, but if you've bought all the packs, you get different characters that fit into his farm from different packs, and it ends up just being a really great pack. So Dash Rendar here, I know you can't really see it because of the farming guide here. So we'll take this off just for a second. We'll bring it back, but if you look here, Dash Rendar, he can fit with so many people here. Dash Rendar can go with Cad Bane, L3, IG, Queel, Young Lando, the Vets. You can put them in with some of your bounty hunters down here too. If you're some leftover bounty hunters, I mean, that could work. Not ideal at all, but those are some characters that Dash Rendar works really, really well with. We want those scoundrel characters. So getting a Dash Rendar team done at this point is probably good. Now, the question is here, Asteroid, why is Dash Rendar so low on this list? That's a great question, actually. Thank you for asking. You guys are really smart. I really appreciate that. Dash Rendar operates good enough without his Omicron. His Omicron does help him a lot, but I do not have his Omicron applied, and I get holds with him in GAC from time to time. And I don't have good mods on him either. I have my Dash Rendar team right now is a leftover. I'm also following this Lightspeed farming guide too. I'm starting my SLKR unlock. So right now I'm at step 4 and 5. Really, I'm in between 4 and 5. Kind of between 3 and 5 actually. I'm in that range. Anyways, so Dash Rendar here, he works good enough without his Omicron, and the team that you get will be relic characters from different teams that eventually all kind of come together that work really well for him. You don't necessarily need to overinvest in Dash Rendar early enough for him to be a priority for you. Dash Rendar is kind of in this niche corner of the game where he's a Starkiller requirement, and not much else besides his own team. I don't really see a lot of plug-and-play dash rendar viability in this game. So with that, dash rendar kind of falls by the wayside. Ships are probably more important than getting an Omicron on dash rendar. Solos are probably really good for banner efficiency, so I personally put dash rendar a little bit lower on the list just because of, you know, all of these different factors that really go into making sure your account is the best and best optimized for what you've purchased. So dash rendar falls at our number 9 spot. And our last spot is number 10 is, again, I've already told you, the Prequel Trilogy stuff. Now, the reason we say Prequel Trilogy stuff is because this is really up in the air. Gear 12 GOs is probably great for a guild. If you are a pure Lightspeed Bundle purchaser, like if you were level 85 the day before Lightspeed Bundles came out and you bought every single Lightspeed Bundle, then you will not have GOs. You will not have, hold on, they're right here. You will not have Gear 12 GOs. Joe Bizzle here almost has Gear 12 GOs. You guys can't really see it because of the little the graphic here, so let me get that out of the way for you. But you almost have Gear 12 GOs. He also has the Toggle Omicron, which is great to see. If you don't have GOs, that'll be great for an Executrix fleet with your 3 GO ships. If you have no ships at all, that's a good starting fleet for you to work on before you ramp up to the other stuff we were talking about. If you don't have that, another thing you can do is, obviously, in the ship vein, Negotiator, Malevolence, and with those teams, you're going to want Padme, you're going to want, with GK obviously, and you're going to want Grievous with droids. That's what you really want with Malevolence. So we take a look here. Another thing you could do is Gas 501st. I really want Gas. I will be gunning for Gas pretty soon here. I'm working on SLKR, finishing up Crex, and then we're working on CLS, a CLS team into Gas. That's my farming order currently. You really want this Galactic Republic stuff, and you want the Separatist stuff because of the raid and the event coming up. Now, if you can't necessarily get Gas, if you can't do that, that's okay, all right? Not everyone's going to be able to unlock... Not everyone's going to be able to unlock all of the highest tiers of this raid stuff and the new content day one. Again, this is, if you're a basic Lightspeed Bundle account and you don't have anything else on your account before that, really, then... I mean, really, your Gas might be out of the question before all this new raid stuff comes out. You might already be past the raid stuff by the time you get to this point. So in that case, maybe switch this out for Sith Eternal or something if you're watching this too late. But when the raid stuff comes out, you're going to want to have at least something working for the raids for your guilds. At this point, you're going to want to already have Gear 12 GOs. That way you can get into a better guild. Not necessarily an amazing guild, but maybe better than what you guys are having. It's at least worth looking if you really don't like your guild. If you love your guild at where you're at and you're doing good, obviously just be happy with your guild. But Gear 12 GOs with Toggle Crown really helps out your guild. Another thing, again, we already talked about General Grievous droids. The STAP really just came to the game and hopefully is going to be making a difference for General Grievous and GAC. Joe Bizzle needs to work on his other Separatists here, but he's getting his GOs done, which is really nice. Again, if we're talking, I didn't put this on the list, but if you are one of those people where Sith Eternal might be an easier farm for you, Count Dooku would fall under this category as well. Count Dooku is a really underrated character in this game, in my opinion. He's not the best, but Count Dooku has those counterattacks, ability blocks, stuns, stealths the team. Count Dooku is really, really helpful in the right situations. Sometimes what I'll do is if my Vader can't handle like a Relic 8 GO team, which has happened, I have gone against Relic 8 GOs in GAC before in like lower levels of Chromium. I put him with Count Dooku. Count Dooku will ability block some of the characters, will stun some of the characters. He does a lot of great things for certain teams in certain situations. Dooku is very niche when it comes to this game. So that's a character for you to work on as well if you want to. Again, Droidica, that's kind of like a thing for the guild. I believe this is a TW Omicron. I could be wrong, actually. It might be I don't know, whatever. He's got an Omicron. That's good for your guild if they require that. So that's something for you to think about. And our last thing we're going to talk about is the Galactic Republic here. Again, we already said Padme. Joe Bizzle looks like he's working on Padme, and he's also working on a Qui-Gon Omicron team, which you guys can't really see, so we're going to move this again. The Qui-Gon Omicron team, really nice. It's one of my favorite Omicrons in the game, but getting Jedi Knight Anakin up is key for the Galactic Republic, for his ship, and he's the damage dealer on a lot of teams for the Galactic Republic, so Jedi Knight Anakin is one of those key players you need. Padme, you can switch out with Qui-Gon, lead those two characters, depending on the game mode, can switch around. Padme is great in Proving Grounds and Conquest and stuff like that. Qui-Gon is really your GAC man, for now anyways. If you want an endurance fleet, which I don't really recommend it, because I mean, you have GK you can farm easily now because of the guild store changes. But if you have Mace Windu, you can't get General Kenobi for some reason. I mean, Mace Windu is still a good tank. You could farm both up if you really wanted. Barriss Offee is a great plug-and-play healer at the moment, which works great. Grandmaster Yoda is a great Galactic Republic Jedi that kind of eventually will shift onto a... Sorry, I didn't hit the microphone. But Grandmaster Yoda will kind of shift onto a Jedi Knight Revan team. That kind of works great. We already talked about Plo Koon earlier. Plo Koon works good enough. It's kind of a niche thing. It's kind of specific. It's kind of interesting to work with. But Plo Koon can work on a Starkiller team, and he's got one of the most important ships for the Negotiator. So getting Plo Koon up for his ship, if that's all you want him for, is a cool idea. Maybe just to Gear 11, Gear 10 if you really can't afford much. But getting Plo Koon somewhere for that ship isn't a bad idea. You can't really see it again, but R2-D2 can work on a Gidme team. If you're not familiar with what Gidme is, it's Padme with Moff Gideon and R2-D2 or Echo, kind of depending if you want a support character, basically a Galactic Republic support character. R2-D2 here kind of just fits into that spot really nicely. He's a requirement for Leia, and it's going to shift there eventually, but I mean, R2 is an option. I don't know if I'd recommend putting him on any Galactic Republic team for now, but I mean, if you need a Gidme, R2 is there for you. He's one of the boys. So, yeah, okay. So we talked about pretty much everything here. At this point, if I was to do a number 11 and a number 12 and 13 for this account, it really gets kind of difficult to decide, because at this point, you'll really be off on your own, doing your own thing. Maybe your guilds are requiring Inquisitors. Maybe you have a passion project that you really want to work on. Like maybe if you want to get Kenobi and you have Cat or whatever, that's an idea for you, because you'll have farmed Galactic Republic stuff here. I think Sith Eternal and Jabba and Leia are some good ideas to think about too in the following steps here. Imperial Troopers is something you should have farmed with Sith Eternal or Executor or something like that. You should have a complete CLS team at the end of number 6 at least. If you don't have a CLS team at the end of number 6, you're doing it wrong. At this point, you could work on improving your bounty hunters if you want with some other characters like Jango Fett or Zam Wessel or Aurra Sing. Those are some characters that you can work on. A Traya team could be something for you to consider as well. If you're working on Profundity at this point, then an Abrad team is going to kind of fall into place. If you want to, Big Cal, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, he goes great onto a Jedi Master Luke team. So if you want to farm Night Sisters and Ufus to get Jedi Knight Luke Sky or Jedi Knight Jedi Knight Cal Kestis up, that's another viable option for you. If CG ever brings the damn event back around, so we'll have to wait and see if CG ever decides to promote the things they release. But besides that, obviously there's Gungans and there's so many other paths you can go down, but those are some of the important things that kind of tie into some of the other farms here. And as you can tell, it gets a little complicated after number 10. So here we go. I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to blow it up for you guys. There you go. You can save this and post this around if you want. I don't really care. This is just my opinion of what I tell people to farm when they do roster reviews from me. So I appreciate you all watching. Again, like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you got use out of this video, please let me know in the comment section down below. Joining our membership program will give you a lot of exclusive benefits, so make sure you check that out. And speaking of which, shout out to Rain, Average Stormtrooper, and Tipsy, our 3 Tier 6 members. Thank you guys so much for your continued support over the last few months and getting all of those amazing benefits and helping out the community. I really, really appreciate it. I'm considering, this is kind of a teaser for the future of the channel. I'm considering if we start making enough from this channel fund-wise, which is possible, I suppose, but if we start to make enough money from the channel, I might reinvest it into Gungans. That might be something I need to do. But we'll see what kind of growth the channel has in the next few months. So if you haven't already, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Join our Discord server. Join our live streams for free roster reviews like this. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you again, by the way, Joe Bizzle. Thank you again. I'll see you in the next video.